Hey guys, welcome back. This is our special top 20 players list video where we are going to bring to you guys our top 20 players. And before we get started, we have graphics back. As you can see, he doesn't like doing them very much. They're hard. We heard from you guys, and so we're bringing them back.
Me and Brock were like, Kale, stop being a little girl.
Well, on our pitch episodes too, we'll have the logo go in front with the music and all that again. Because, you guys are demanding about it. It takes me a long time to make that stuff. So great. Anyway,
send Kale some.
We know you guys have been looking forward to this. The top 20 players.
So
we've got a lot of concerns. Hey, when is this coming out? When is this coming out? So here it is. So enjoy.
Sorry, some of you guys.
Hopefully you'll disagree and send us in your comments. We can have a debate about it.
Yeah, so we're going to start from 20 and go down.
This was a collaborative effort, by the way.
Yes.
Yes, we don't agree on everything.
And then we'll stop at 5 and give some honorable mentions, and then we'll go top 5. Okay, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, at number 20, plays for the Bison, Michael Screen.
Good job, Mike.
Oh boy. The Bison player made it on the list.
Yeah, so has Michael ever been an All-Star, though? I don't think he has. Maybe he has once.
No. I just think James
I'm not
French.
sure.
You're right, I don't think he has been.
Just Frenchy.
But Michael's a good batter. That's what basically got him on here.
Yep.
Okay, on to number 19.
It's not like 20's that high, though.
From the Anaheim Storm, Tyler Hudson at number 19.
Yeah. I mean, he's now that Colby Gaston is not on that team anymore, he's gonna have to. He's kind of the guy now.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Last tournament.
Not a great pitcher.
Not a great pitcher.
But got the job done.
Not a good hitter, but yet went to the championship game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is if they wouldn't have made if they would have even just lost in the conference finals, I don't even know if he would have made it on this.
Yeah.
So,
okay, on to number 18, from the Fog. He is part owner?
No, he's a majority owner.
Majority owner, Darren Knight.
Fielding extraordinaire. He's going to be, I know we make fun of Darren a lot, but Ty agrees with me on this too. His value is going to go up even more at the fielding position with the new rules, with the single line coming in. You're going to see a lot more soccer slides and stuff from Darren. So
yes.
His value is going to be shown going forward with the new rules.
Bad pitcher. Okay hitter.
But he should never be pitching anyway.
Well, no, I'm just saying that,
he's only going to pitch.
Obviously, pitchers are going to be the most valuable.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Okay, on to number 17. He's played in only one tournament, and he's on the wrecking crew, Aaron Deester.
One of the most clutch hits I've ever seen in JL 13.
Oh, yeah.
And
one of the longest home runs ever. It went over the fence.
What was it was like 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. The game was on the line, and they needed
handful of runs.
A couple of runs. They were down maybe 2, and there was a runner on, and he ripped a homer to save the game. I think they still ended up losing. I don't remember, but yeah. Good hitter.
Moving on to 16 now. He is currently a free agent, and Lane Traver.
I mean, he's not. We all think he's going to be a decent pit. It'll depend where he ends up playing. He played for the Bambinos before, and he was kind of in a role player type of situation with them in JL 13. He wasn't in jail. In jail 12, and he wasn't in jail 13. So I really want to see if he can be a starting pitcher in this league. I think that's what's really gonna. I think he should sign. I've been saying along. I think he should sign with the underdogs and just go play for them and be their guy, prove his worth, and then go play for someone else. A team like that. I don't think it does him any good individually to just play for another team like the Bambinos who are already good, just be buried on there.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he needs to do that to break himself out, or else he's always just going to be a role player that comes in at number whatever he is, 16 on this list or something. So I think he's got potential.
Okay. Moving on, number 15 plays for the Anaheim Storm, second Storm player on the list.
No,
he's not.
Today
he was. Today he was traded to the Mafia.
Yes.
And his name is Colby Gaston.
If you missed that deal, the Mafia, it's a long story. You can go on the website and read about what happened, how this got to where it was with this trade. But basically, this is only, the second trade ever in jail history? And it was under the same type of thing, just a player for cash. Basically, the Storm gave
Some cash though.
the Storm gave the Mafia Colby Gaston for $35.
$35. That's a lot of. Hey, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Mafia owner Tate Klein really wanted him, and we'll see. I guess. But he comes in at 15. He's a good dude player. He's a good batter. He was vital in their getting to the championship.
I think Lane's better than Colby, but they ruled.
Okay. Moving on to number 14 now. Plays for the Cobras, Kevin Johnson.
Multiple-time champion, multiple-time All-Star. He
Decent-
can do
decent
kind
pitcher.
of.
Yeah, can do kind
He
of.
can
everything.
pitch. He can
Pretty
DH.
good
The only
pitcher.
thing he
Good
really
batter.
can't do is field.
No, can't do that at all.
I should never want him to do that. But he's just a solid, efficient player.
In two ways. You can go pitching and batting. Okay. 13. Plays for the Fog. He is their starting pitcher, Lucas Myers.
Ty?
Lucas kind of was disappointing, but I thought he would be a top 10 player, but they didn't make the playoffs. He single-handedly lost them the game to get them into the playoffs. I was doing the score. He walked in 6 runs in a single inning to make him lose the game. He was an okay batter, but it just wasn't. It's the right spot for him.
I mean, look, the problem with Lucas, well, there's a couple of problems. Number one, at pitcher, he throws one pitch. It's a really nice pitch. It's a drop ball, but it's one pitch, and he doesn't have a good ratio of strikeouts to balls because it's just, it's a moving pitch.
It's not consistent.
And then the other, and to me, the even bigger problem is he just has no stamina at pitcher.
That's so
He's
true.
good for like 2 or 3 innings, like really good for 2 or 3 innings, and then he's just terrible after that. And they have no one else on that Fog roster to come in and throw any relief for them. So once you get to like when it's towards the end of the regular season, and he's just like totally burnt. So that's the biggest. But I think we all thought he was going to be a top 10 player. He wasn't, but reality is Brock still a good player. Still only 13.
And he's close.
Yeah, he's just not an all-star player. Yeah.
All right, moving on to number 12 now is a player on this couch. Plays for the Cobras, Kale Johnson.
Kale used to be kind of like super bipolar. He was either really crap or really good. But over the last couple tournaments, he's definitely become a much better hitter.
I didn't have that good of a in jail 13.
Yeah, but
He's still kind of up and
Yeah,
down,
I mean,
but
you see, he's either super super good, hitting a lot of homers, or he's like.
But we used to have tournaments where he was like bad.
bad.
Now he's
And sometimes. Well, did you even field in the last tournament?
Yeah.
His fielding can be a little subpar, also, but when he's hitting good, he's one of the top 3, if not best hitter in the league. So that's why he's number 12.
Kale, do you think
And he's a multiple champion.
Yeah, 4-time champion. Do I think I'm too low?
Gosh.
Do you think you're too low?
No.
No.
Okay. The league has a lot of good players now. I'm happy where I'm at.
Okay. All right, moving on to number 11 now. This player, he actually does play for the Underdogs, though it seems he never really wants to. You might know who it is. It's Adam Clark at number 11.
It's a serious conflict between him and this team. Everything I hear is that he wants to leave the Underdogs. That's there's always multiple teams talking to him, trying to get him to do a holdout, which he's expressed that he's going to do, but then never really does it.
We kind of did one last
Well,
tournament.
he kind of did. I don't know. I don't know all the details of this. Everything that people tell me about the situation, they always make sure to say off the record. So a lot of it can't be repeated, and a lot of it I just don't know. But I think we can all agree here that the Underdogs don't want to let him go. He has 1 season left on his contract with them. He's clearly the best talent on the roster, and he doesn't want to be with the Underdogs. So it's just a really big conflict of interest.
Here's the problem. Adam's talent level, he should be at 11. But this is best players, where it's not like talent. So best players, you're not the best player if you don't show up. So I think he should be lower.
He's not as reliable.
He's not. No. He should not show up in a tournament without texting anyone at all.
I mean, he might have been holding out. I don't know.
He was holding out. He just didn't show up.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
It was like Mason when he just didn't show up at JL. What was it?
Yeah,
12 or something.
he didn't really need it. Anyway.
But Mason's awful. So let's go on.
Maybe that's why Mason's not on a team right now.
Okay, so moving into the top 10 now. This guy now plays for the Express. Played for the Rapids for a while, but now is on the No.
Oh, what?
What are you talking
Wrong Shawn.
Yeah.
There's more than one Shawn in this league, everybody. This Shawn at number 10 plays for the Wrecking Crew, and his last name is Guthrie, not Gadina. Okay, there you go.
So basically, the Wrecking Crew started out with Michael McElroy as their pitcher for in their franchise debut in JL 13, and then about halfway through the regular season said, this isn't working out how we wanted. So they ended up going with someone who they had originally said was going to be a relief pitcher for them, and that was Shawn Guthrie. And he turned out to be about as good a pitcher as I'd say is about Adam is, which is like on the cusp of all-star level, but not quite there. And he's a good hitter. So he's got those two things going for him. I think he's the Wrecking Crew's best player. They're a really, they don't have a lot of standout guys, the Wrecking Crew. They're pretty, well,
Balanced.
The word balanced, yeah. The word was escaping me. But, yeah, I'd say he's the most talented of all of them, mostly because he plays the most important position, pitcher. Yeah. And he's a good hitter, too. So I think he's the one to build that
Anything
around.
else to say about
that?
Doesn't look like it.
No, actually, I do have something. He could move up quite a bit because he throws hard, really hard.
He does throw hard.
And if he can get that in the strike zone, because he throws so hard that there's a lot of balls. But if he can get that to where it's more consistent, he could definitely move up.
And also, I would say the team needs to be a playoff team and stuff to help elevate him up as well. It's hard to be an all-star. It's hard to be above and further up in the top 10 unless your team is making the playoffs. You're winning awards, those kind of things. Which him at 10 with no awards and no playoffs, that's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, moving on to number 9 now. He is now the owner of the Mafia and will be a player.
Probably won't be happy with his placement in this list.
Yeah. Well, you know what? 9 for take line is very respectful here because, he had an awful tournament. He single-handedly hurt the Express because, the Express were trying to be the first team ever to repeat, and their biggest problem was that they couldn't hit the ball. And Tate Klein is kind of supposed to be the guy on offense for them and that last season, and he just didn't show up with the bat. So, he really hurt him. So him still at 9. I think he's probably going to pitch for the Mafia, so it'll be nice to get him back as a pitcher.
I thought they signed a pitcher.
Well, they did, but some tells me he's probably still going to pitch.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And so, he's a good pitcher, so it'll be nice to get him back in that role and watch him work doing that. But, maybe that'll drop him, though. If he turned out to not be that good of a pitcher, that might slide him down for the next time. So, see, but for now, he's 9. Who's 8?
8 is the other Shawn I was talking about earlier, now on the Express. Used to play for the Rapids, Shawn Gadina.
I don't think Shawn would have broke the top 10 if he didn't pitch in the last tournament, honestly. But he had a really, really good tournament as a pitcher. Kind of established himself that he could be a starting pitcher in the league. Now that he went to the Express, I don't know if he will because if they get Brad and Kyle back. But it's good for Garrett because even if he doesn't somehow get Kyle and Brad back, he has a reliable pitcher with Shawn. He's a very consistent hitter. He's not bad, but he also doesn't hit crazy home runs. He's very consistent. You get the same thing out of him every tournament, and he's very reliable. So good spot for Shawn.
And here's my thing with Shawn is he actually might be the highest paid player on the Express. Going into.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the contract.
But anyway. He's on a 2-season deal with the team, and I believe 2-season or a 3-season deal with a player option after 2. So, with the cap going up, like what he did in the last term, I think even if he doesn't pitch in the next 2 seasons with the Express, they got those other guys and whatnot.
Sure.
He showed in the last tournament what he's capable of. So I think with the cap going up, like he could make a good amount of money after that contract still, just based on what he did before. So I think that will help. But yeah, he was definitely the breakout star last season. Proved he can. I think he could be the best player on your team, and you can build around him. I think he's that good.
Yeah.
But
first tournament pitching too. I mean, it's your first tournament.
Yeah, and he's got 3 seasons of experience now. His first 2 seasons, I don't think he won any awards. He'd never been an All-Star. Yeah. He'd basically just been the role player to you on the Rapids, and then you were out for the tournament, so he had to step into like the stardom role. And did a good job. And did real well in it, and now he's got, he's getting the attention for it. And whatever. But, unfortunately, he had to go to a different team now. But
all right, moving on to number 7. This player plays for the Bambinos and won the batting crown in JL13. Tyler Schrager at number 7.
I can't decide who's a bigger breakout in the last tournament, Tyler or Shawn.
Are you asking me?
Either one of you.
I think Shawn.
You think Shawn?
Yeah.
Tyler played so well, though. That impressed me. Just batting. He hit the ball so well. But that's the problem is, I don't know if he can, like Shawn had the pitching going. Like, I don't know if Tyler can sustain that spot for another, season or 2 at number 7.
Sure.
I would bet on him probably to slide down the list just because batting is so much more it's so much more inconsistent and whatnot. Yeah. It's so much more on a season-to-season thing. And
true.
he just, he can pitch. He pitched in JL13, but he's not like a star pitcher.
Yeah.
He's just kind of a relief guy probably. I mean, he could be a starter, but he's not going to be a starter that's going to, win MVP and the pitching crown and all this stuff. But good player. And he re-signed with the Bambinos long-term, so.
Could be more effective in the field with the rule changes.
Could be.
Because he does play the field for them. Okay. Ty, anything to say?
I think it's the right spot for him.
All right. Number 6 now. Plays for the Rapids now after the whole shenanigans that went down. Jordan Halverson. Former Lynx star. What?
Played his first 5 seasons with the Lynx. His whole career had been with the Lynx until now he's on the Rapids. He's been an all-star every season. He's won the MVP before. He's won the pitching crown. But number 6, honestly, this is generous because he took a big step back, in my opinion.
He's fallen.
No, he was number 2 last time.
Fallen 4 spots.
But I even think he could be behind Tyler Traver and Sean Godino now. 2 players that have been in the league during the same time that he's been in, but have been below him now. I think maybe have risen above him, but on this list, he's above him still. I don't think.
You haven't talked much.
I think this is still the right spot for him because, like you said with the other 2, Sean's pitched for 1 tournament, and Tyler hasn't pitched at all yet.
Well,
he's
pitched a little bit.
It was like a game. Jordan has literally been a pitcher his whole career. And he did very well at that until the last couple tournaments. And when you actually watch Jordan, he's still a very good hitter. And that's basically what these 2 behind him are on here for. So I still think this is the right spot.
Well, not Shawn. Shawn's not a great hitter. Yeah, I think Tyler's just as good a hitter right now, if not better than Jordan. But Jordan has the he's done it for longer. I can bet on Jordan more than I can on Tyler right now.
Yeah. And Tyler's team also had a ton of success, so he's going to look like he did better than Jordan. So.
Okay.
Now
we go into the honorable mentions before we do the top 5. Are we going to do this one at a time or do all of them?
We'll just mention them real quick. So we got
a free agent in Dustin Hamilton.
Who I thought should have been on the top 20. But let's go. Yeah.
Another free agent in Jacob Braun from the Fog.
Solid player. But, I mean, didn't make it on the list this time. Sorry, Jake.
He was an MVP, people. Yeah, he's not on the top 20 list now. Crazy. All right, go.
And then our last one on here is from the Lynx, Stephen Todd.
But I think his value, too, is going to go back up now with the fielding rules changing. Let's go to the top 5.
Okay, top 5. Number 5 from the Rapids, Ty Jones. You think you're too low?
No, I think I'm pretty good right now, especially since coming right off of injury. You know. But yeah.
Do you think he's too high?
I think he's right at the right spot. I think he's one of the best pitchers in the league. He's a good batter. And he consistently leads his team to the playoffs, and they're consistently the team he's on what we consider a title contender. So, yeah, I think top 5. Always an all-star. I missed last season, but I expect him to, and the Rapids now with the reinforcement of Jordan to come back strong. They're going to be good.
Yeah, I think he's in the right spot. Okay, number 4, teammate of Cale Johnson, Michael Sullivan. Is he too high, too low? I think he's in the right spot. What about you?
I think he's in the right spot. His pitching is elite. His batting could get better. His pitching gets a little sporadic at times, but in my opinion, he is the fourth best pitcher in the league. I think he's good enough to win a championship behind, but right now, he's the best player in the league to have never won a championship yet. Yeah, so it's yet to be proven if you can do it.
I think he's good enough to win a championship behind. I think it would be very helpful if you guys had someone who you could throw in for a couple games so he doesn't wear himself out.
We've got, Kevin.
But you didn't
we
do
should
that
have done that last season.
Because
just gotten a hole.
It was obvious against the Storm. He was just thrown out.
Well, I have something to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Michael Sullivan has, for 2 tournaments, become so unclutch.
That's what I was going to say.
So unclutch. He lost to the freaking Storm. The Storm. And then his first tournament, they were on a roll, and they lost to us.
That was back in JL10.
Yeah, and we had won 2. We went 2-2 before that, and we barely made the playoffs.
If you look at the stats, man, Michael, you're watching this, Mike.
It was bad.
You're not a clutch player right now.
You're yeah, seriously.
In fact, you would be what people call a little bit of a choker.
But you know what's wrong with Michael? I honestly think Michael could be the 2nd or 3rd best pitcher in the league. Because when he's on, he's the best pitcher.
He's harder than anything.
He almost breaks the freaking backboard because he releases it 6 inches further than everyone else. But also, he could be the 10th worst pitcher and lose to the Storm. Yeah. So, Mike, gosh.
Yeah. He's kind of like Russell Wilson to me. It's when he's on, when Russell Wilson's having a really good game, and you're this guy's one of the best in the league. And then when Wilson has some of those horrible games, and you're just oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. He is a free agent, and his name is Brad Williamson. He did play for the Express for the last 2 tournaments.
We didn't see what Brad really was capable of until JL 13 when he took the mound. Well, not the mound. The pitching one area. Yeah, and showed it, and he throws a nasty rise ball.
Oh my gosh!
But it doesn't have a ton of velocity. It's kind of his only pitch, but it's really nasty, and he bats real well. I mean, look, he's probably the 3rd best pitcher in the league. Kyle Godino wasn't joking when he said Brad was. What was Brad on this list before when he was only a DH? Before he had showed what he could do with pitching, was he 11 or 12 or something? But now it's okay, Brad's one of the best.
Yeah.
So it's not really debatable.
Yeah. Anything to say?
No.
Okay. Number 2. This might come as a surprise to some people, but we have free agent Kyle Godino at number 2.
Sorry, Kyle.
Thoughts?
Kyle's probably going to be pissed.
Yeah, well, Kyle shouldn't be pissed because this is the single most reason why Kyle is not number one. I still think Kyle is the best pitcher. I do. But it's so minimal between him and Nate that really isn't what made the decision. The decision is, Kyle, you can't bat. You took yourself out of the lineup.
Yeah, that was bad.
I mean, okay, Nate's number one.
He's a one-dimensional player.
Yeah. Nate is number one. Nate Williamson, also free agent. But the reason why is Nate is like one of the top 3 batters in the league, maybe.
Well, I think what you're getting at is if Kyle's a 10 pitcher, and Nate's a 9,
yes,
but Nate's a 10 hitter, and
Kyle's
like
a 5.
4.
Yes.
So I mean,
that's the only reason. You're still the best pitcher in the league, okay? But you can't hit.
But can we go back to the whole breakout play? Like the 3 big breakout players were Tyler Traver, Sean Godino, and I forgot to mention Nate Williamson too. My gosh,
yeah, seriously,
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
and Brad too, but even more so Nate.
Nate deserved
blew me away.
Yes,
yeah.
I never thought Nate could throw that hard
because
he
pitched a little in JL12, and he was kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
I mean, he still threw it hard, but he was just.
It was like more walks than strikes.
Yeah,
and then just in 13. I mean, he had to have practiced or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. You never know with Nate. You can never.
Who knows?
Yeah. Those Williamson boys, but
oh my god!
I mean, he deserves number 1.
Yes,
Nate does. He's the best player in the game right now. I don't know if he can sustain it. I think I'll still bet on Kyle. I just feel like Kyle's more consistent, just because of what we saw from, and Kyle. I just feel like Kyle will practice at it more. He's probably pissed.
Yeah, he probably is.
He'll probably go out and try some new pitches like Nate. I don't know. Like, I really don't. No one ever really hears from Nate.
Yeah. I mean, is Nate?
He just kind of shows up when it's time to play and just kind of does it. It's like, I'll bet on Kyle more. But, I mean, right now, Nate's the best.
Yeah.
We'll see if it keeps up, though. All right, that's our top 20 players list. It was kind of a long video. Thanks for hanging in there. But, we want to know what you think about all this.
Yeah, send us yours if you have complaints or disagreements.
All right, that's it.